all these games, and I'm really hoping to see a couple of carries out of them that are going to duke it out. See how that goes.
And you can see so far there's been a ban for Lucian and Sona, so a lot of bot lane focuses thus far throughout the tournament.
Was interesting first pick Sejuani on the side of Lambton Lions. We've seen some of her, not a ton of her. We've seen a lot of more utility junglers like the Ivern. Looks like Cavale again
Might be
hovering the
locking that
Garen.
Garen.
Yeah, so they did this. They did do this against Pepega. Looks like he's going to pick the Hecarim instead. Very good early game jungler. Very good on this patch. A lot of early game pressure, able to gank lanes more often than almost any other jungler in the game. And especially in this patch, early game is huge.
And he does offer a lot of flexibility as well. He can be flexed to the top lane should that be necessary. And it actually looks like he is going top lane Hecarim with that Ignite swap there.
So we also have a Rise, so that can flex to mid or top. So again, we don't really know where that's going to be going. They can swap characters at any point. So you could have a Hecarim talking to Hecarim jungle or Rise top mid. Even bot has been seen a couple times. And unsurprisingly, looks like Lambton are going to lock in the Janna again. A huge comfort pick for that bot laner in NA's finest. He's played almost every game on that Janna this tournament. So definitely going to be something to watch out for. Possibly something that TBP might want to man away sooner rather than later.
And where NA's finest does shine is he actually can do those high-level plays with Janna. He is a little bit of a playmaker, a lot less than just a shield bot that most Jannas tend to be, allowing Mo2 to carry himself forward with the high-level plays. The amount of tornadoes he hit last game was absolutely unbelievable, hitting priority target after priority target, flash monsooning, spreading the team fights, healing his team. It's just something that he's just been showing up on.
Yeah, so Sivir pick also, again, another scaling pick. Surprisingly was not banned this game, so it looks like they're going to try and pick it up early in the draft. See if they mirror with another scaling ADC. They do. They pick up the Jinx. So we have a support pick on the side of Lambton. Bot lane is locked in as well as the jungler on the side of Lambton, kind of showing their cards more than TBP is. Jinx obviously is going to be the ADC. Rise and Hecarim can be flexed to a couple different lanes.
They do take away the Ornn. They probably saw last game where Sketcher absolutely popped off on that. They're trying to mitigate all the hard CC coming out from Lions because that's where they tend to shine. They do still have the Sejuani as backup to lock down that Jinx should it be necessary. There is a Nami ban as well. So team bench players are kind of forced to draft somewhere around a front line for that Jinx. They need something that'll just scoop up all the CCs so she can move around and just delete Lambton Lions.
Yep, so a lot of support bands coming through for Lambton. Obviously, don't really know where the Hecarim and Rise are going at this point, but they do know TBP still need a support, so they're looking to ban out as much of the support pool as possible. Yeah, do have a Lux hover on the side of TBP here, but looks like they might going to go towards the Nautilus. So Nautilus, again, another flex pick. Surprisingly not picked up yet by either team. Very powerful in this patch. Looks like they're going to safe support, go with the Braum, give that Jinx a little bit extra shielding, some projectile help, especially from that Sivir, and definitely going to mitigate a lot of that pressure in the bot lane.
Yeah, having that unbreakable shield on Braum does offer a lot of room for Jinx. He can tank that Sejuani ultimate, he can tank those tornadoes, he can stop the chakra tosses from Sivir. He won't be able to stop that Cassiopeia ultimate, however, which makes things a little bit more difficult for Jinx should she find herself on the wrong side of the Snake's Gaze.
And looks like they're going to go for a heavy scaling on Lambton side with the Cassio and the Sivir. Janna and Sejuani obviously offering a lot of protection, and looks like they're going to Aatrox for the top lane or the mid lane, or Scion. Also can be flexed between top lane and mid lane along with that Cassio, so we'll see where they decide to go after the final pick by TBP. But Scion, we haven't seen a lot of him yet in this tournament. I don't think it's been banned in one game. Syndra is going to be the final pick actually for TBP.
Very interesting. Looks like they're probably going to force that Hecarim into the jungle slot. It was looking like he was going to be the top laner, but they probably are going to swap away from it most likely.
But Rise in top lane against that Scion, and Syndra is going to go into the Cassiopeia.
Now, on the TBP side, they do have a ton of split push pressure. They do have a lot of pressure on the map as well with Hecarim's high mobility, with Rise's teleport. They do have the Jinx 2 scale late, So as long as they can keep her in the back, they can keep everything going smoothly. Lions, however, do offer a lot more to their Sivir in the form of hard CC. They can pretty much just walk through TBP should they be caught in any form of CC, actually. Whether it's a Cassiopeia ultimate, whether it's a huge Scion charge, whether it's a fat Sejuani ultimate, they can just do whatever they want if they miss position.
Both teams with the Jinx and the Rise on TBP and the Cassiopeia and Sivir, both of them do have really good scaling. So Lambton does look a little bit squishier in bot lane with the Janna pick compared to the Braum of TBP. But if you look in the top lane, you got a Scion and you got a Sejuani. Going to be super, super tanky in that top lane. Going to be really hard to take down. And as a Hecarim jungle, obviously you want to go be aggressive. You want to gank lanes constantly. So definitely looking a lot more towards bot lane rather than top lane ganks. Although NA is known for his Janna, it's still a really good gank for Hecarim to do.
Yeah, he's definitely going to have to prioritize that bot lane. Ganking the top lane is kind of unnecessary. That top side is super tanky. They're not going to offer too much scaling, but they are going to offer a lot of meat for the Sivir to just kind of sit in the back, do her thing, throw some shockruns, get the bounces, do
and
that
definitely, and then Cassio is going to be really safe for mid lane too. So although the Hecarim can't put a little bit of pressure on her, she's probably just going to stay back, try and farm up, stay away from fighting the Syndra as much as possible, try and mitigate how much damage that Syndra actually does to her, try and wait till a later game when their Sivir is going to be scaled and she's going to be scaled when they can really, push that forefront with their Scion and their Sejuani.
This game definitely is going to be backed up a lot more by the mid laners this time. There's still a lot of bot potential. The top lane is just 2 meat shells, nothing special there. So we'll see kind of where it goes. Should that Hecarim kind of camp his mid laner, get that Syndra ahead and just roll over the Cassio? Or is he going to prioritize Jinx, start that snowball a lot sooner? That way they don't have to necessarily force the late game scaling, where they might end up being a little bit weaker than the side of the Lambton Lions.
I think my prediction is that Hecarim is going to try and gank more towards bot lane. Obviously, Cassio pre-6 is a pretty decent gank, but bot lane does offer a lot more potential in the fact that they're a squishier bot lane. So he is able to take advantage of that rather than trying to go in on the Cassio, who has decent mobility, especially with the phase rush, where she can escape a lot easier than, say, a Janna or a Sivir will.
The Sivir does offer that spell shield for herself to protect some part of the gank. However, they do have a Thresh on the side of the team bench players. So there's a lot of... Incorrect?
Braum.
Oh, Braum, that's correct. I forgot that they didn't lock that Thresh. Braum still can offer a lot more of CC. Sure. With the Unbreakable Will, throwing that Q, the concussive blows, they can offer that passive stun. Worst case scenario, they pop the R, and that's 2 knockouts.
Definitely going to look to try and take out that Sivir spell shield early so that they can get that Unbreakable proc on the Braum so they're able to take that stun, because the key to getting that gank proper is taking out that Sivir spell shield and then getting that stun from Braum onto the Sivir in order to take her down without getting disengaged by the Janna. So definitely looking for those tornadoes. Obviously, very good Janna player. It's going to be really tough to dodge those tornadoes, but they have to be able to go around them, use them to their advantage, and snowball the game from the Hecarim.
Yeah, definitely a lot of safe picks from the side of Lambton. They are playing to their comforts, their strengths. It's something that they've been doing most of the tournament thus far. They really just want to keep the game on the shoulders of Mo, potentially throw some more pressure on EHFX, who has shown himself to be a little bit of a force to be reckoned with as well.
Yeah. Definitely interesting summoner choice from the Hecarim, not going for the Predator, instead opting for a Conqueror. So definitely looking for maybe more ganks in top lane. Looking for an extended fight against the Scion where he can actually turn his damage into true damage, help out the Rise, try and snowball him ahead, because he will be a very good split pusher once he hits 3 items.
Oh, and it looks like there's going to be a pause. Lambton's finest did disconnect.
Small technical issue, I'm sure.
Looks like there was a brain splat, so they will be taking a second or two. Hopefully it won't be too long. Now, looking at these comps, you can see a couple of interesting things. You do have Braum with the Unsealed Spellbook, fairly standard. That does give him access to Teleport, where he can make some global plays, most likely in the top side, potentially the mid side as well, allowing a lot more pressure on the side of team bench players than the Hecarim normally wouldn't have.
Yeah, so, and we do see the double cleanse on the side of Syndra, and obviously Braum has it, but he can swap that with the Summoner Spellbook. Barrier on the side of Cassio, so both these mid laners doing going very safe, not forcing anything, and looks like both of them not really going to go aggressive. Syndra also with the electrocute. Normally you might go area, you go comet, but looks like she's going more for the 3-shot burst, preferred to the 1-shot abilities that she has.
Yeah, they're kind of switching that power from the Hecarim's one-shot Predator, giving him the sustain, instead throwing that burst on Syndra, hopefully scaling to a point where she can just simply press R and pop Sivir, for example.
Yeah, for sure. So looks like they're going to get the proc on Janna. Just going to take that priority, throw a ward in there, do a little taunt to each other.
Just a little bit of poking coming out from TBP. They don't seem to be forcing anything thus far. Pretty standard positioning all around the map. No one seems to be forcing an invade. Everyone just holding the line.
It's grand finals. Don't want to risk anything. A little bit of poke happening in mid lane, though.
Yeah, it's definitely unfavorable trade there for EHFX, who's just getting chunked down for no apparent reason.
It looks like we got a top lane start for the Hecarim as well as the Sejuani. She's going to take her blue.
Oh, and we'll see if they walk into this tri-brush. They do force Lambton back. Surprisingly enough, they did not want to force that fight. They are a little bit weaker level 1, especially with the Brahm's concussive blows, which deal a ton of damage and offer a lot more CC than just a simple tornado. Should she have started it, odds are she probably went W.
This already an electrocute proc onto the Cassiopeia in mid. She's getting out-damaged heavily at level 1.
Yeah, getting zoned off from farm early, which isn't too good to start. He did go in with about 20% HP missing, and now he's at about half, as well as half mana.
Luckily, though, Cassiopeia is landing a lot of her poke, which means that Syndra is also going to be pulling even with her in the damage department.
You can see just standard all around. No one doing anything too aggressive besides the mid lane. Prussian just trying to build a lead for himself, forcing that Cassiopeia backwards, starting to build a CS lead, actually, almost a wave up already.
Definitely, tone of this mid lane is Syndra is going to be dominating this Cassio, as we've seen so far, although they are even in farm. It looks like Cassio is just letting the wave push to her. And bot lane looking a little bit different. The Lambton's pushing out TBP.
Oh, and a gank coming in already. Forcing the flash from Sketcher. They do get the root. It was not empowered, however. Odds are they're going to get it, and there's first blood on the side of TBP. A wonderful gank from Wenywin. Tons of patience on his side, actually waiting for the flash to come out from Sketcher.
Ooh,
Definitely
like
well played.
Hecarim almost gets taken down by the Ghost of Scion, though. Living with about 20 HP. Definitely not what he expected to happen.
Yeah, a little bit of over-aggression there from Wendy, trying to help his Rise push the wave in so that Sketcher's TP would be a little bit more on the useless side. Yeah. But he is there to catch the XP, even if he is missing out on a little bit of gold.
And that's how you use Hecarim. Early level 2 gank, top, and good prediction on the flash as well. Able to get the flash out of Scion, push him back, and push him into the Rise route. Special you by Sivir, though.
The concussive blows looking to be procced on the Sivir. Forces the flash. Definitely well played there from Eugene. Hitting that Q does offer the slow as well as the concussive blows proc.
I am kind of surprised, though. I do think Braum was at about half, Janna was about 3/4, and Sivir was about 3/4 as well. So even if she did get caught up in that, they probably could have fought and they would have won. But obviously you don't know where that Hecarim is. He could be anywhere on the map, so you don't want him running in on you as you're fighting in that bot lane at all.
Yeah, and blowing that flash is definitely a huge setback for Mo2, who wants to be setting the tone in this lane. He just wants to force the lane down into the TBP tower, but now it's too risky to do that. He doesn't have flash. Should Hecarim visit his lane, he is rendered defenseless at that point.
So Hecarim does burn his ghost, looking for a gank in mid lane. Doesn't quite get what he wants.
Oh, and a big trade coming there from Prussian.
A lot of damage being put down by Prussian onto mid lane.
Definitely a great matchup for him. Hecarim with the cheeky smite steal there on the crab.
And it looks like, I think Hecarim had a couple good ganks. Obviously in top lane, mid lane he is forced to burn the flash, but he is also forcing Cassio back, which Syndra answers with a stun of her own. So
and Sketcher's definitely in not too great shape right now in the top lane. Rise with that early tier is free to just throw all his abilities at the wave and at the Scion itself. You can see just how much damage he's actually pumping out, forcing Sketcher back constantly, setting the pace there.
Looks like Rise is going to try and walk up on the Scion. Unfortunately, right now, Scion is just going to try and take the brunt of this. As he has a Mana Crystal and a tier to start off the game, it means Rise can keep throwing those abilities, stack up that tier until he hits his Archangels. And at that point, obviously, he will get a big shield from his mana, gain a lot more AP, and it's going to be a lot more difficult to handle him than it already is.
He's definitely in a great place up there. Meanwhile, in the bot lane, it's a little bit worse for wear. Despite TBP blowing an early Thrash from Mo, he is up in CS, about 14 right now. Pushing the pace, and looks like another gank up top. Sketcher just being caught out, trying to get some farm using his E there. Unfortunate for him.
Yeah, so again, another gank by Hecarim. Not sure if he came under tower to finish that or if he just came from lane, but obviously no flash to save the Scion, and as he was only at about 200 HP, not going to be enough to save him from the Hecarim gank.
Yeah, and it's kind of like a reversal of roles there. Sketcher used to be dominating that top lane, setting the pace, but now he's the one that's behind. He's the one that's at the mercy of his opponent. So he's not going to be able to do too much up there without a little bit of help.
And very surprising, I was really looking for the 1v1s a lot more in top lane, but it does seem that Hecarim is trying to get his top laner ahead. Obviously succeeding very well. Top laner up 25 CS and a kill and an assist at this point. Scion mightily struggling, to say the least.
To do anything, indeed. And it looks like Lambton trying to kind of retaliate by going for the early dragon there. Let's see if Sejuani can sneak it without Hecarim popping over, who's looking to gank bottom right now, actually.
He's going to go in on the Janna. Janna gets down to half. Janna's forced flash heal out of bot lane.
There's the ultimate. Braum with the flash, gets the ignite. However, it doesn't look like they're going to get the proc. They're going to turn the kill on the Braum himself, blowing the heal, and they get actually nothing for that. They lose Braum and the dragon. Definitely well played from the Lions.
Yeah, so Lions, although Janna was forced to burn the flash and Sivir was forced to burn the heal, Braum gets a little bit caught up, is forced to use his own flash to try and get out, but too much damage comes out of Lambton, and they pick up the kill on that Braum.
Yeah, the aggression there was a little bit mismatched compared to the positioning. You can see now that the Lambton Lions bot lane are very, very much ahead. They're about half a level up, as well as nearly 20 CS in the bot lane. So they're kind of the win condition at this point. They're looking really good. Their top lane is getting demolished. Their mid lane's in an unfavorable matchup. And their jungler is going to look to hopefully pressure those losing lanes and kind of bring them back a little bit.
So mid lane, not really much going on right now. Mostly just farming. Tier on the Cassio. She's looking to scale that up. Again, just like Rise to an Archangels. Get herself that big shield. Bot lane, BF Sword picked up on the side of Jinx. Sivir, on the other hand, picking up BF Sword and a pickaxe means that she will have a big advantage in that bot lane.
You can see Rise pushing up, blowing that scrying orb so you can get vision on Lambton's finest. They do know he's at the blue buff. And when looks like he wants to take it, he did steal the red buff previously. And really hovering around there, kind of adding some pressure in the river. Meanwhile, on top lane, Rise getting some more poke damage on Sketcher, and it looks like there's going to be an engage on Wenowin. There's going to be a collapse. Wenowin just hard CC'd, has nowhere to go, and Sketcher actually gets the kill.
Yeah, so obviously Rise had priority in that lane, but Scion was already right by that. So he was able to get there way before Rise was. Cassio was pushed. See, although it was in the river of TBP, it was actually Lambton's kill because TBP had prio in both lanes, but both laners were already running away. Braum with a big missed ult, though. That is unfortunate.
They might be able to turn that into another kill there. Braum getting very low, doesn't dodge the Q, and almost goes down once again.
So definitely bot lane not going nearly as well for TBP as it is for Lambton. But again, that Hecarim kill, we didn't have prio in both lanes, you only had prio in one lane, and Lambton was able to bring their Cassio and their Scion there before Rise or Syndra could get there.
Yeah, Syndra was coming back to lane after recalling, and it looks like Rise trying to engage something here. Instigating some damage, just trying to poke the Scion back, not looking to do anything more than that.
So Rise is still up by about 30 CS in this top lane. Bot lane, Sivir is up 23 CS. So Syndra up about 15 CS there, and Sejuani up 15 CS on Hecarim, so it really evens out across the board.
Yeah, that shutdown definitely added a lot of gold back into Sketcher's wallet, allowing him to kind of bring himself back in. He is sitting on a lot of gold right now and trying to farm out that last wave. It looks like there's going to be a potential run gank down the lane in bottom. You can see here, not too much, a lot of blown ultimates, but nothing is falling. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, Hecarim looking to solo kill the Cassiopeia, burns the flash, and he's going to get it.
Yeah, so wasted flash there on Cassio. She did burn her barrier as well as her flash. Definitely not worth for that mid lane fight. Does end up dying to the Hecarim, and definitely a disadvantage there in the mid lane.
And believe it or not, actually, in the top lane, Sketcher did solo kill the Rise by himself, blowing his ultimate, getting a huge knock up there on the Rise, who was farming in a very large wave, kind of thought he was a lot safer than he really was, and kind of blew his lead there.
Yeah, so gold actually now going in the favor of Lambton after being in TPP's favor for so long. Game is evened out, 2 kills on the side of Sion, and although the Rise is 1-1-1, Sion has caught up in kills and makes that lane a lot more even than it was just a couple minutes ago.
Yeah, despite being down so much CS, those 2 kills really bring the gold back in his favor. He is now worth a bounty, so we'll see if Hecarim looks to repeat gank once again, kind of force that money back towards the side of TVP.
I feel like Hecarim's going to take a little bit of poke damage from the Jan and the Sivir here. I think chunked out to about a quarter HP.
Yeah, they're trying to clear that wave, but sadly, Lambton Lions won't give them that for free, forcing that Hecarim to get very low and getting him to recall as well.
So, summoners are back up for both bot lanes, as well as mid laner for TVP. So, Syndra definitely having a lot more pressure.
Oh, see, the cleanse is blown. Sejuani landing the ultimate.
Cleanse is used by the Syndra, allows her to escape, and that'll be it for the mid lane fight.
Picture perfect cleanse there. That's a big cooldown not to have as well. You can see the Mo2 popping his ultimate, trying to get something. Lambton's Finest a little bit caught out, is kind of forced to jump. Hecarim getting stunned, a flash knockup from Braum. He misses the Q. They're going to get the kill on the Cassiopeia. We'll see if they can get anything more. Bot lane still trying to get that dragon there, but it looks like they're going to give it up. The Cloud Drake most likely going to TVP with little to no resistance at all.
Cassio had the right idea in going for the Hecarim. Unfortunately, her jungler had already queued over the wall, was nowhere near. Their bot lane was being pressured by the other bot lane, so Cassio had the right idea, trying to kill the Hecarim. Unfortunately, because she didn't have any teammates around her, was caught out and was
definitely a
promptly
misstep
taken
there.
down.
He thought he had the pressure, he thought he had the priority, but he was sorely mistaken. Did land a huge ultimate on the Hecarim, stopped his E dead in his tracks, but it meant nothing once his team collapsed.
Yeah. So TVP also picked up the Cloud Dragon after that fight. So obviously, not exactly the best dragon, but for a Hecarim, it is very big for him. Allows you to gank. Obviously, lanes still going on. We're about 14 minutes. Plates are about to go down. About 20 seconds, so open up the lanes a little bit.
He's trying to do something in the top side. He is scouted on a ward, however. We'll see if they can transpire that gank into the mid lane. Rise pushing up to the Sejuani, who's found a blue, chokes her up. Hecarim ghosting, getting ready for the E, misses his ultimate. And it looks like Sion's ulting, trying to get back into the fight, forcing them off of the blue. Syndra is rotating, however, so they do have the numbers advantage as Sejuani's forced to recall and most likely give that blue in the way of the Rise.
I am very surprised that Lambton has not taken the spot turret yet. It was at about 5%. I'm going to say the same percentages at now. I'd say about 3-4 minutes ago. So TVP has been able to defend this turret for as long as they possibly could. They are going to have to recall soon, and once they do that, it does mean Lambton's going to take that bot turret and open up the map a little bit more.
Yeah, you can see just how much they're down 40 CS, nearly down a tower. Huge engage coming in mid lane. They don't have to cleanse. Cassiopeia hitting the R Sejuani as well. Syndra flashing out. We'll see if she ticks out to the poison. She does not. Barely gets away with about 30 HP after the burn, after the poison.
Very well played. Only burned her flash. They obviously used her ult to try and take down the Cassiopeia. Didn't have cleanse. Timed it just right, so she missed the Sejuani W, as well as a Casio Q, and was able to flash out and survive with barely any HP. Well played by her.
And despite that failed gank, they try to get the mid tower, but they're not going to get it. Getting it down to about 25% of the way, cracking down a lot of the outer tower at that point. This gives them a lot more pressure as well after opening the bottom tower there. Probably going to make some plays to the top side.
Very even game so far, though. Goal difference only about 400.
It's definitely a very close game.
Yeah, so you see top lane rises ahead by about the same amount that Sivir is ahead in the bot lane. And
yeah, it does even out that way.
Yeah. And obviously got a kill over to the side of TBP over Lambton, but Lambton did get that bot turret, so that gave them that gold right back in their pocket.
Yeah, and the Sivir's definitely in a great position to hard carry the game. We'll see if Rise does anything here. Looks like he's just poking that Janet down, trying to keep that wave under tower, trying to get some sort of a momentum for his team there. Actually engages, very poorly timed. Sivir with the ultimate.
Wow.
Jinx is there to stop it. Barely gets away. Rise very, very lucky, very fortunate there that Jinx was there. Hit the W, got some crits, and forces Motu to back off.
So he was trying to bait them a little bit, not really sure if he meant to take that much damage in the initial fight. But does force a heal out of the Sivir in order to escape. Jaina's going to heal ult so they can sustain in lane, stay up there.
And you can see Rift Herald was dropped in the mid lane as the TBP do end up getting that mid tower with.
Looks like.
And Sion ulting mid lane, misses the Syndra. Sejuani as well, a great dodge there from Prussian. Does get hit by the knockup. We'll see if they can turn this into a kill. Looks like they're going to disengage there. The Lambton Lions getting re-engaged on by the Hecarim. Goes in, TBP trying to get the momentum back. Gets a kill on the Cassiopeia, running forward. We'll see if he can kill Sketcher. He's still going in. Maximum stacks on his Q. He gets turned on by NA's finest, landing a beautiful tornado, knocking him up. Sketcher going in, does get a return kill with a Scion passive on Syndra. An absolute bloodbath from both sides. Two going down on the side of TBP, two going down, sorry, for the Lambton Lions. A beautiful 2 for 2. But this does give TBP a little bit more of an opening to run down the mid lane. They are a little bit stronger than the surviving members of the Lions as well.
Yeah, so definitely huge passive there by Sion, able to take care of the Syndra, who's at about 200 HP after he died. Makes the fight even, gives himself a little bit of extra gold. A little bit more fight against that Rise, which he is going to have to deal with over the course of this game. Split pushing wise, Cassio does go down again at an 0-3-2. Definitely not doing as well as the Syndra is. Sivir not quite involved in that fight. Now, the ADCs weren't quite involved in that fight. So for them, Sivir's going to keep that lead and stay ahead of that Jinx for right now. Jinx, interestingly, has bought a Runans before finishing her IE, giving her some more attack speed, but not giving her enough damage to be able to sustain enough damage in a fight to make it against Sejuani and a Sion.
Cavell definitely taking way too aggressive a position. Eugene looking to turn it on to Sejuani. Only hits her with the ultimate, and looks like they're just going to disengage off of that. Very odd positioning from Cavell, kind of very ignorant to the potential threat of the Lambton Lions, but it does give them the time to burn the dragon for themselves, turning it into 2 Cloud Drakes as well. And Hecarim looking to transpire that into the bot lane on Sketcher. Does block the ultimate, lands in the Jinx traps, and it looks like they're going to get another kill onto Sketcher, giving it to Jinx, and she does get the crit, finishing him off.
So if you look in the bottom river, the reason they were able to take that dragon with no problem was that there are 3 control wards, and they have 2 more other wards, and the Rift Scuttle in the bot lane, covering that entire river. So Sion was bot lane. There was 3 in mid lane, but Sejuani was basically flying blind into that river. Gets ulted by the Braum, gets stunned as well by gets trapped by the Jinx chompers, and she's forced to run out. She can't see the Drake and can't even contest it.
Yeah, definitely very good play from TBP. They are starting to snowball the lead themselves across the board, actually. Where they were down previously in the bot lane, they've covered some major ground. Still down in CS, but the Jinx does have a kill to her name, as well as an assist, making the lead a little bit less significant. And you can see they're actually ahead in gold right now, with 2 towers on each side. one Mountain Dragon on the side of Lions, as well as 2 Cloud on the side of TBP.
If you look at the item difference between the top laner and the mid laner from TBP compared to the mid laner of Lambton, you can see that the Archangel is already complete for Rise, whereas Cassiopeia does not have that fully stacked for her Seraphs. So Rise does have that shield and the needlessly large rod, whereas Cassio only has that incomplete Seraphs and a Ruby Crystal. So it's going to be a lot more damage coming out of the Rise than it will be from Cassio for right now.
Yeah, you can definitely see Rise continuing that split push pressure. Sketcher forced to deal with that best he can as he gets chunked under tower repeatedly as he's clearing these waves. His side, however, is roaming up. They're looking to get some form of play in the mid lane. Do have a control. We'll see if AHFX face checks this, but he is smart enough to Q it, finds the Braum hitting in the bush. And they do end up finding the control ward there. Just a little bit of a poke war going on in the mid lane as well.
Yeah, so bot lane, Rise is going to try and take that turret. Looks like Sion is just going to give it over to him. They see the Hecarim coming to go help him out. And that unlocks the bot lane a lot. Obviously, you could see TBP were pushing up into their jungle. They do have a lot of pressure down there in that bot lane with their mid lane turret still up for right now. Once that breaks, opens the map up almost completely. Last turret remaining on the side of TBP of their first turrets.
Yeah, their mid lane turn is getting very, very low. It's about 15%. We'll see if actually Braum gets kicked off here. Poor positioning while sweeping a ward. Does get the heal off on Jinx. Hecarim turning the fight around on Cassiopeia. Does use his ultimate. He's over-aggressing. We'll see if they can actually turn that back into a kill. Jinx with a huge Mega Death Rocket, turning a kill on the Cassiopeia, finishing it off. However, it is a 1-for-1 so far. TP coming in from Rise. A huge stun from Syndra. She does hit 4, gets the ult on Sivir. Rise flashing in, Jinx flashing in. They can confirm the kill on Sivir. Jinx with the traps, force the Sejuani to ult. Rise continuing forward, gets the Janna, gets the Sion, and they're probably going to turn this into a Baron play, most likely.
So that was a 3-for-2, actually, on the side of TVP. Well played by them. Rise came in clutch with his TP, able to come from base, pick up a needlessly large rod, and come in the middle of that fight. Obviously, Braum with some poor positioning forced out the heal from the Jinx to start off that fight, which meant later on in the fight she was not able to heal herself from all that CC thrown out by the Sion. But crazy intense fight, actually.
Yeah, luckily for her, she did have the wall with Hecarim there, and the Braum looks like they're actually going to take another fight.
Ooh, that's not
poor
good.
Positioning from Lambton's finest. The Sejuani trying to get some plates with their Demolish is going to go down, unfortunately, to the Hecarim.
So Dragon is going to be up in about 40 seconds. They are pinging Baron. Obviously, Lambton did just lose their jungler for the next 30 seconds. A lot of wards going to be put down on the side of TBP, trying to make sure that Lambton has no chance of sealing this.
Yeah, Lambton Lions not having their jungler makes things a lot more difficult for them. We'll see if they try to contest this. They are kind of positioning in a way. Sion is ulting in a little bit too early, misses, engaging on the Braum. Rise trying to blow up the Sivir in the back line, who's all alone, getting turned on actually by the Sivir. Huge crits coming in. Most surviving with 1/4 HP, getting shut down by the Syndra. Braum ult missing. We'll see if Hecarim can turn this into another kill. He is going on the Janna, however, it finishes the kill off on Sketcher. Sion goes down. 2-for-1 on the side of TBP. We'll see if they actually try the Baron. Odds are they won't. They're going to take those kills, kind of lick their wounds, and go back to pushing.
Yeah, so you saw that Rise, even though he was in a 1v3, he almost was able to burst down that Sivir by himself. A lot of fancy footwork, dodged a lot of the CC from Lambton, but just the damage that he's outputting right now with that Rabadons and that Seraphs is insane. He's able to pick up a kill in what seemingly is a fight where he's going to automatically lose, going to force them off Baron, and that means that the rest of his team can come, follow up, take out the rest of Lambton. Whoever survives, they can take out themselves. And Sion 363 is not looking the best choice right now.
Yeah, he's not doing very hot so far. Kind of had too bit of an early engage there. Kind of pulled the trigger too soon before his team could really get in there. Kind of forcing his Sivir to be caught out. She did go down, unfortunately, and you can see that Jinx was able to reap the benefits there, catching up in items, only being down the QSS right now for the most part. And another dragon going to the TBP, picking up an ocean. So now they do have a little bit of extra sustain when they're moving around.
Yeah, so TBP definitely looking like the better team right now. Up in kills, up in gold by about 4K. Fortunately for them, for Lambton, they do have a scaling Sivir and they do have a scaling Cassio. She did just pick up her Rylai, so she is on 2 items. Definitely will help her out in these fights. Unfortunately, the Rise is going to be very strong split. Going to be a very strong split pusher at this moment. So Sion's gonna have a really rough time trying to control him and his pushes.
Yeah, Sketcher kind of being left alone to kind of do the dirty work down there. He can't do too much against the Rise, unfortunately, who's severely fed at this point. Very, very strong with that Rabadon's online, kind of punishing the Sion every step of the way. He's at about half HP after just about 5 seconds worth of scrapping. And we'll see actually a Mega Death Rocket missing on the Janna. Almost gets picked off from a quick ult. Hecarim finishing the kill off. Hecarim finding the ult. Braum as well finding an ult on the Sivir. 2 for nothing so far. We'll see if Rise gets Sketcher. Does not, and they're immediately calling the Baron.
Yeah, so really good pick onto the Janna. The stun able to chain into the Braum ult, able into the Hecarim ult, and they're able to take that Janna out of the fight almost immediately. Sivir pays for the heal that she put out with her life. Doesn't burn flash. Not worth it. They do get the mid lane turret, but obviously TBP will pick up that Baron with no contest. Not really much you can do when you're down 2 players. They do open up the map by getting that mid turret, but it is going to be a 2 for 0 and a Baron for all 5 members of TBP.
And this definitely adds a ton of momentum on the side of Team Bench players. They have everything in their hands at this point. The game is on their shoulders. We'll see if the Jinx can continue to scale. She's been playing perfectly despite being down in the early game. She's at a point right now where she's actually stronger than Mo, despite all the hardships they had in the ball lane earlier.
And it looks like the Rise here is going to keep scaling. He picked up a Void Staff, actually. So it looks like he might be going into a couple different builds at this point. Hecarim going to pick up the Triforce Giant's Fist, or the Steric's Gauge, my bad, means that he's going to be extremely powerful in those dives, and he's going to be a lot tankier, so he's able to, run in, try and pick off that Sivir or that Janna, force them back into his own team, and is able to stay alive for a lot longer. Syndra picking up the Morellos, gives us a lot of healing from the Cassio and from the Sion. TVP just looks like they're in a really, really good place right now.
Yeah, having that tenacity boost on the Hecarim is very, very, very important for him. He's been having some very clean engages with his ultimate, finding priority targets, finding the stragglers. Whoever may be in his sights is more than likely dead as soon as he presses that button.
So, Quicksilver's picked up on both ADCs, definitely aware of the heavy CC coming out of a lot of these champions. Trying to play it safe, trying to stay alive in these fights. They're pretty even right now. Although Jinx is 405, Sivir does have a 40 CS advantage on her.
TBP with the split push actually allows Rise to get the bottom tier 2 and gets about halfway to the 3rd tower, whereas Hecarim's pushing the top. Mid lane, the 3 stack does end up getting the tier 2 mid, and they do get the tier 2 top. All tier 2s have fallen for the side of the Lambton, and things are looking kind of grave. Rise actually teleporting into the mid lane, brings 2 cannons with them, so they're going to get this tower, potentially open up the inhibitor, and start walking down to the Nexus.
So Sion was forced to flash out there by the Rise. Was starting his life. He's going to ult back in, actually, onto the
huge
Jinx.
engage from Sion, as well as the Sejuani finding priority targets. Hecarim ults in. Braum returning the ults as well.
Turn around.
Hecarim getting the stacks. We'll see if he can find anything as well. His Conqueror is procced. He is going down to the Sivir. Rise flashing forward, finds a kill on the Cassiopeia. Syndra with a large stun hitting 3 guys, and they're looking to disengage. A very, very bloody fight. Finds 2 on the side for Lambton Lions, getting a little bit of an advantage for themselves after that play.
Yeah, so it does mean there's still 3 members on the side of TBP that have Baron for a little bit longer, but definitely a really, really good fight by Lambton. They were able to land the Sejuani ult and the Sion ult onto the Jinx of TBP. and they were able to CC her out of the fight before it even started. She was forced to Quicksilver, but she wasn't able to get out of the secondary one. Meant that she was basically out of the fight, and it meant that Hecarim, who was diving in, was going to die really early there.
Yeah, and definitely a good idea from Hecarim to kind of sacrifice himself there. Doesn't want to give up the bounty that Jinx has amassed. Throwing 700 gold back to the way of Lambton is very, very dangerous, whereas throwing 300 doesn't seem like too much of a hassle. Yeah. Something they can actually deal with there.
So definitely playing the protect the Jinx game so far this game.
And we'll see if they secure yet another dragon for themselves, getting their first mountain dragon on the side of the TBP, adding 4 dragons total to their name at this point of the game.
Definitely means that that Elder Drake, when it spawns, is going to be a lot more powerful than it would be for the Lambton. Going to mean double all those stacks plus the Rage of the Elder burns enemies for 180 seconds, I believe. 120. Regardless, we'll do a lot of damage and will help them a lot, especially those Cloud Drakes make the Hecarim move around a lot faster than you want them to.
You can see here TBP kind of pushing the lead right now, taking everything away from Lambton Lions, clearing their jungle, clearing their waves, and making their way down to bot lane, trying to finish off that tier 3 that was left at about half HP by the Rise formerly.
So we're looking, they're just going to keep splitting with this Rise.
Scion's going in, finds the Braum. We'll see if he can transverse that into a kill. Huge knockup. Braum CC chain does go down. Sejuani with the ult on Jinx. Quick QSS. Syndra finding 3 stuns. Throws the ultimate. Doesn't finish off the Sivir with 1 HP. Hecarim trying to do anything. Rise, however, is going to get the top tier 3. And Lambton's forced to retreat.
Yeah, so Hecarim's going to look in here, try and stop some of the backs. Rise is going to try and pick up 2 inhibitors here, actually. He is going to look to get that last one.
And it looks like he's about to get it. 2 inhibitors for Rise. TBP only lose Braum, but come out with 2 inhibitors.
Definitely a very smart play by them. Good QSS by the Jinx saves her life. Only costs the Braum his, and they pick up 2 inhibs as well as some gold and top for that Rise. Going to push him even further ahead, and Lambton is running out of answers right now.
Yeah, it's very calculated play coming from TBP constantly, again and again. They know they're a lot stronger. They take a 4v5 fight and actually turn it into a big advantage, leaving that Rise alone, picking up 2 inhibitors for his team. And this now opens the floodgates for TBP. Once that Baron respawns, once that Elder Dragon's online, they can look to do pretty much anything with the map control that they currently possess.
So with these super minions in the top and mid lane, they can effectively go to Baron, take that. They can then take bot lane, push that up with their super minions in top and mid, and go for that inhibitor and go for the end.
You can see at this point, Lambton knows that they have to contest this Baron. They're getting a little bit desperate, so they're pushing forward into enemy territory, trying to clear vision, trying to get some sort of an advantage for themselves. Scion engaging. They do find the Sejuani ult on the Braum. Once again, Heat goes down. Syndra finds a return kill on the Janna, but goes down as well to the Sejuani. Huge crits coming from Sivir, turning that fight right back on its head.
Rise is going to push bot lane.
This is very dangerous.
They have to take this Baron now, or they will lose the game.
Lambton committing to the Baron, which seems to be a mistake. Look at how many minions are flooding in for the side of TBP. They don't do that much damage. They're about halfway through the Baron, whereas Rise is already pushing down to the Nexus. He's halfway down the first Nexus turret. Cassiopeia is going back. He gets 1. He gets 2. TBP turning the Baron pit back on the outside. They do find 2 kills on their way. And Rise is looking to end the game right now for his team.
Cassio needs to stand strong.
A triple kill for Hecarim. Things did not go to plan there for the Lions. A poor call there. They didn't respect the Rise, who looks to try to end the game, and he does so in spectacular fashion. What a play from Rise. Beautiful, beautiful macro on his part. Wherever his team was, he knew that he could split push against the Lions, who did not respect the potential that he had previously.
And he had TP up, so even if there was a fight, he could join. But as I said, I was really looking forward to seeing how Cavale would play, and you saw his Rise play. What can I say? He's an excellent player, but what are you going to do against a Rise at that point? Like, he has 4 items. He outscales your Scion, he outscales your Cassiopeia, he outscales your ADCs. You just kind of, you either team fight him, which is really tough to do because he has phase rush and he can run out. You hard CC him, they're going to take some other objective on the map. It's just there's so little you can do at that point.
Yeah, definitely a huge disadvantage for Lambton Lions. They didn't respect that Rise. You saw what he did in that bot lane fight. He took 2 inhibitors by himself. After losing a fight, he actually turned that back on its head, took the 3rd inhib, and actually took the game by himself. Despite that poor fight going to the side of TBP, they lost 2 members. They forced the Baron Pit fight and actually turned 3 kills onto the Hecarim at that point.
And you can't say that, but in all honesty, they were just trying to stop the backs because they're just going to let Rise end the game. You have minions pushing in from mid and top. I mean, even if you do get players back, it's going to be really tough to fight Rise and take care of all those minions coming in. So it's kind of checkmate. What are you going to do? You can't take Baron. You can't back. You can't really do anything.
And you saw it there, the Cassiopeia and the Jan in a 2v1 situation. They did burn Rise to about half HP, but at that point it was too little too late. He knocked down both Nexus towers, knocked down the Nexus itself with 3 lanes of super minions, 4 cannons, 4 super minions. It was just a nightmare there for the Lambton Lions.
So it looks like game 1 is going to go over to
the bench players. And we have game 2 coming up in a little bit. It is a best of 5 series, so we do have a lot more league coming your way. At least 2 more games, but hopefully more. But for now, we'll head back to you in a bit. Yeah, we'll be taking about a 5-minute break, so we'll see you guys at game 2 coming up very shortly.
Oh man.